today, and what you're going to hear, the reasons behind why she was like this today, was the worst day in all of this. I have never heard Julia so upset and enraged as she was today. Good question, Sharon. A really good question. Really, 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 really good question. When anyone in the entire Julia team gets that answer for you, I'll let you know. Now, think about all the individuals that have been covered on the Shaun Attwood channel with regards to serious crimes that have taken place and how the police have ignored how serious those crimes are. And we have a young girl who, again, is no threat to anyone, being broken down systematically. You'll find out on the next live, mate, at Uber. She's been. How can we bring attention if we are being told to bring attention to? That's my point. I've been following this. Okay, don't worry, Dame Anna. I'm just. I've just got to watch what I'm saying on this channel. I don't want to try and I don't want to drop. I've just got to watch what I'm saying. So I can reiterate things that may or may not have taken place, and you're going to have to take from your own intelligence that these things have been reported to me direct. And when you have individuals portraying information with no proof in a dynamic that feels shady and covert, that should tell you something. When we have loopholes in the law that are being used for whatever reason to change the officials at the highest point in the legal system, that then seem to go on to fuel a perpetual cycle that is favoring one side, allegedly. On an individual who has posed no threat to anyone and has been labeled an incredible, on paper, she's been labeled the same as some incredibly dangerous individuals that warrant a higher level of court. Now, do you think in the grand scheme of conspiracy, oh, that's the wrong banner. Do you think in the grand scheme of conspiracy that you would have your claws into the lower end of the legal system or the higher end of the legal system if you were wanting control over a narrative? It would be the highest point. And we have seen a repeated pattern of favoring some shady characters in the legal system in the UK throughout the years. Cover-ups. I quote John Wedger when he tried to announce he was going to expose what he's seen as a Met officer working for the police. And he was categorically told, if you do this, they will unalive you. And he did it anyway, and they've tried for years. The individuals responsible for conspiracy and cover-up in this country have been allowed to flourish because they take their narrative seriously. Now, being told that tests have been conducted on DNA that has appeared from nowhere with samples from individuals that prove only one side of a very broad story with Julia. Because as you're going to learn over this week and over the coming episodes, there is massive DNA results that we've already seen. They're out there. We're going to talk about those. We've already discussed tonight in a cryptic way that apparently more tests have been done, but we ain't going to see them, and neither is one of the people involved in those tests. And it is incredibly scary when we're this close to something that reeks of so much cover-up, so much conspiracy and fishiness. We've said it since day one. There's no part of Julia's story that makes sense at all. None of it. Now, what if the bigger story to this ends with a result that the question everyone was asking and Julia was asking at the start of this turns out to give a conclusion that favors those who stand against Julia? Without any proof, of course. But what if the bigger picture has got more to do with, let's say, I don't know, male individuals from a family's bloodline? Because there's no way in hell a girl from Poland should have anything in common with a family in England. There's just no way. You have conspiracies surrounding every single facet of the characters that were involved in Julia's upbringing, her life. All of the medical side of this points to something dark. And the more the actions of the legal side of this country play out, the more I'm left with conclusions that only make sense when you apply conspiracy. Because we're not morons. Even if you're not on Julia's side, start looking at this through a fresh set of eyes. Because it's easy to write off, I don't think she's this or that. But actually listen to her story. Actually listen. Because rarely do you ever see a situation, for example, Julia has spoken about an Italian girl who apparently thought she was a missing child, and she got tested and was given her results and was ruled out. And would you believe it or not, that narrative is now being denied by individuals who may or may not have met and questioned and had a discussion with Julia. So how are we in 2025 in the era of vaporizing reality and reshaping narratives? Julia is still sitting in jail, yes. But listen, man, Julia sat in jail, but we've got individuals who are illegally in this country who are committing sex crimes against young individuals who are just getting ankle tags. All right? That's the justice system. Remember that. Now, Julia was meant to have a bail hearing today, and she did. We're going to talk more about that on the next live, which will be happening after this one. You will get a notification to automatically come over. This isn't a view harvesting or anything. This is me taking accountability for the information I'm putting out there to legally avoid any issues for my friend and employer. So just so you know, got enough going on there. All right. It's actually really, never mind. Shut up, Ron. Focus. Why is she in jail? Because she has been charged with communications with a famous family over her repeated request for a DNA test to rule out whether or not she is part of said family. And she came to the UK and went to the property and asked them after sending